Champs League music's a little loud.
That's the way we like it for a playoff series. Extra hype.
It's so bright. Yeah. Friday. Yeah.
Anywhere you need me to help post?
No, I'm good.
Cool.
Unless you have some sneaky spots you want to post.
Who did you pick for your bracket winner?
I have Baylor right now, but I'm gonna probably go back over it.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I've got my alma mater, Colorado State, going to the finals.
They look good this year. Alright, well, will their entire team show up? This is the question.
We're also still missing 2 of ours, so, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 of ours?
We got 4 minutes. So we're chilling.
Shit, we got 5.
Okay.
They're all gonna join right at 7 all together with the same icons for maximum intimidation, probably.
Yeah, they're just spending the extra time coordinating their icons. Oh, everybody's here.
Sign Quanta as coach.
Genuine offer. Well, our coach is playing tonight, so.
Now we can whip the boys in real time.
That's right.
Did I ever get those raffles yet? That's a question, for sure. I got Dark Winds, but I didn't get Crush Storms.
The GOAT James in chat pulled off a nice upset win last night. Glue Eaters lost. Already spicy senior playoff drama. Was it Quanta as coach? Did he also offer to work for you guys?
Quanta's just working all sides of the senior playoffs right now.
Yes, yes. The networking.
Yeah, crazy. I went to go, get a glass of milk this morning. Quanta was there in my refrigerator. Just insane. Man's
Oh
everywhere.
wow, that's weird that he was able to make it in time after I also went and got a glass of milk and he was in my refrigerator.
Yeah, I mean, that's the 2-hour time difference, though, right?
Yes, he was able to make it up. You
Well,
carry on
so
game for
we're currently all in lobby, and both teams are playing chicken to see who decides to actually make the draft wall. So,
Yes. Here we go. Lexus heard our
oh,
cry. Yane.
what was I doing last time we streamed? Huh.
I mean,
I I had Rod on blue side, and
uh,
opponents on red side, on everything except the draft wall.
uh,
So the
well, I
draft
think
wall's
last
just
time we
backwards.
streamed, I
Oh,
think
we were
it's because
jumping around. Yeah,
we
yeah,
were
yeah.
jumping around and you just didn't bother to change it because you were just like, eh.
Who's adding me? Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
we're
Well,
in the draft.
we're into draft for game number 1. This is the Senior League quarterfinals between Return to the Middlesticks and Virtue Gaming Ambition. RTM has chosen blue side for game number 1 and opens with a Bard ban into the Yone ban from VGA. I'm Maris. My co-caster is Lane. Uh, are you ready for a potential best of 5 that lasts late into the night?
I am ready. I'm so ready. I've been super excited to see playoffs for Runeterra Kennedy Senior Division. Just there's so many teams that are really, really good, and getting to see them in a full best of 5 is super exciting.
Yeah, should be fun. Personally, rooting for some close, quick games so that we can go to bed on time. But other than that, can't be too picky. Um,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
got the PST buffs, so we're doing well over here.
oof. Yeah, I need to hook up with some of those, I guess. Lilia Vigar not going to be available for game number 1, and Jinx off the table to round out the first set of bans for RTM.
Yeah, definitely an interesting set of bans for RTM. Um, the only real premier one that is banned off is the Jinx, but blue side is kind of the side that where you don't have to uh, take the priority bans away in the current meta right now. So it'd be interesting to go see what they go with. Then we'll go with the Ari as the first pick.
The Ari first pick for Yuna is pretty interesting. Um, especially
Yeah,
with all the ADs basically on the table other than Jinx, you could have your pick. And that looks
right,
more like what VGA is looking at. They have their choice of Zeri or Aphelios or Jhin.
right. And I'm not surprised at all to see Zeri hover here. I would assume that gets locked in. And I was thinking after they get the Ahri off the table that, or not picking the Zeri first pick for RTM, that Zeri would get picked up pretty quick here. Just kind of a premier ADC, has a lot of escape, and just brings a lot to the late game team fights, has really decent scaling. It'll be interesting to see what build gets picked with the Zeri. But so far, VGA I think has done really well with their 2 picks here. Getting Vex for the counter on the Ahri, counters her dashes. So
Yeah, did you see the highlight from LCK? It was one of the top
oh,
clips on
the
Reddit.
Chovy,
The
yes.
Chovy big outplay, the full combo from the Ahri into just getting killed under tower.
Yes,
Fantastic.
I did. It was so good.
Take a look at that clip and then come right back. But yeah, Nautilus is going to be locked in for Akata. Kind of interesting. That's a pretty good pick directly into the Zeri. Offers a little bit of lockdown for the high mobility ADC.
Yeah, you can't dodge Nautilus R or his auto tech, so you know. And Xayah.
Xayah's really interesting. All right.
Yeah, I also am a little perplexed by this pick. It's not like you've seen most of VGA's comp. So usually you pick Xayah later if they have like hard engage and you really need to use your R to escape something. But I don't know. Maybe it's just a good matchup into the Zeri because you have.
It just
some
feels like if you wanted the
additional lockdown.
Xayah, you could leave that. You can take 280 carry bands and Xayah's still there. And
Right.
like Zin's still available, Jarvan's still available. Like really high priority jungle picks for Lexus.
Yeah, and interestingly, VGA also doesn't go with the jungle. They go with the Karma, which I assume is going to be a flex pick. Could see it top, mid, or support. So I like the Karma pick up there for VGA. And I would not be surprised at all to see some jungle bans go away in the second round.
Sorry, yeah, this is just such an interesting draft. The Tryndamere taken away, just kind of very annoying champion, especially if you're playing the Karma. Like Karma doesn't ever stop Tryndamere in the side lane, so maybe that's a small tell that they're looking to flex at top.
Yeah, and I think also it's just a really annoying champion to deal with. Just you always have to think about Tryndamere. It's never out of the game really, just because the ultimate allows you a lot, and you can split push, you can team fight. There's just a lot that you can do with Tryndamere in the current meta, and I know it's one of Lil JSS's best champions since he's filling in at top here.
Yeah, the
for our
Poppies basically just discount Jarvan, which is discount Xin Zhao, and they're all 3 of them are gone, so really pinching into the jungle pool now.
Yeah, thinking about what's left up, you've got to think about the Trundle, you got to think about Diana.
Viego.
Yeah, Viego also up there, and Graves here. That's another good one.
Yeah, Graves still doesn't really give any clarity to the VGA comp, as that could go jungle or top, and then, you know, Karma can still flex down to support or up top. Like, there's options still left for VGA. We'll see where RTM wants to go. Their draft so far, much more straightforward.
Yeah, VGA's got a lot of decisions to make here. When they get their last pick, they'll get to see RTM's full comp and then choose what lanes they want to play. We're going to see Viego go for RTM in the jungle. And last pick here of the top lane.
I don't know if this is me being wrong. Probably is. But Viego feels a little risky directly into the Graves, right?
I am not sure exactly on the jungle matchup, but I feel like Viego is just one of those champs that like you get, if you're getting resets, you always have some insurance that way. So if you can get a kill, you're looking pretty good, and it's gonna be Gragas top, it looks like, for RTM.
Yeah, I mean, there's a world where it's Viego top and Gragas jungle, but probably not this one. And the Volibear going to be locked in, likely for Captor in the jungle for VGA. I guess not necessarily. They could still flex both of those back and forth, but that pretty much means Karma's support, and then Graves and Volibear can flip.
Yeah, I'd be more inclined to say that goes jungle, just because I feel like it is a little bit better there, especially with the Chemtech or Chemtank build, able to kind of run down and scale up and do what he needs to do. Has a lot better gank setup with his stun and his slows.
It feels like
and
some
then
rough
Graves
ganks
should
anyway.
just be able to free farm. Yeah,
like
it'll be difficult for sure.
Ahri's hard to gank with straight line running champs, and you've got two of those now with the Graves and the Volibear. At least you have a dash on the Graves to try to avoid one of the skill shots, but
yeah, I mean, Volibear will be probably looking pre-6, which is where they will actually have some opportunities to find some kills, with Ahri not having access to her escape and her ult, and then Xayah not having her ult escape as well. You're probably looking for like a 3 to 4 camp on Volibear into a gank wherever he's going.
Yep, we're waiting on RTM to ready up for the client draft. Draft number 2, my least favorite draft. Big fan of draft number 1, though. I like the champ select music is swelled. You know, we're going hard on it, and we're just sitting here staring at this lobby, staring at this R, waiting for a second R to appear.
That's when the champ select music hits the hardest.
Yeah.
When you're waiting for the double R.
Well, we finally got it. So into second draft. Again, this is the quarterfinals for Runeterra Academy Senior Division. Best of 5 series. So strap in, try to keep the hype, you know, maybe a little bit lower for game number 1 so that we can, we have something to build toward later on.
Yeah, ultimately, I just, you know, whatever happens tonight, you want to see a good series. I think both these teams should be pretty close in skill. There's a lot of really good players on both teams, and mostly just want to see an exciting bat of games tonight.
Yeah, and Rodham comes in as the number 2 seed. Virtue Gaming, the number 3 seed in the opposite division. So, theoretically, pretty similarly matched teams. I'm pulling up team sheets, see if we've got any cool stats we can throw out there. Big shout out to Red for the team sheets.
Can I get it?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah. Very on top of it as always.
So already, either gamesmanship or we do have the flip. Because there's the Viego locked in for Schneider in the top lane so far, and the Graves locked in for number 2 Ginger. They can still trade. I don't believe there's any particular rule about trading, so it'll have to come down to, you know, the last bit of timer. The LCS rule is 20 seconds, of course. A lot of teams abide by that, but you don't have to pick off of the order from your draft law.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see. I'm actually gonna take a quick double check and see if there's anything about swapping or anything like that.
Because yeah, it feels like if you're gonna lane Viego, you'd want to avoid the Graves matchup. Like the Gragas feels stronger into Graves in lane, but the Viego wouldn't necessarily care about the matchup as much in jungle.
Right.
I don't know. That just feels like the one of the 4 matchups that you wouldn't want.
Yeah, so we actually do have, you do have to put it in 20 seconds before.
Okay.
So at the 20-second mark, you have to finalize your trade.
Yeah, so I guess we'll keep an eye on that. That's a Karma mid as well for Chapanya fan. So potentially Vex support for Hawkster. This could be
Oh,
some
interesting.
spicy drafts coming out.
Yeah.
Again, they're not locked into this until 20 seconds, like Lane just said. So
Right.
um, we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But this is more flexes than even I thought were possible. Right? We're going even
Right.
further beyond the flexes.
Yeah, definitely more than we were thinking about. I mean, I guess you'd get for Vex, you get it off of Nautilus Hook, but it doesn't seem as good. And I would expect that one to get traded. I mean, both top and jungles for both teams both have options to switch back, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, no movement as of yet, but definitely an interesting happening here in game number 1. Just in the draft portion, a little bit of gamesmanship perhaps, but no trading yet. So, oh, there's one. There's two. This looks more how I thought it would look. Yeah.
Right. This is what we were talking about when we were discussing drafts and where we think everything would shake out, but
yeah,
they're just switching back and forth.
I could see the Volibear and Graves being flipped. Like, that doesn't feel wild to me. But now we're, according to L rulebook, officially locked in. Whether these guys, go to the letter of the law or is something else. But that's a Graves top for number 2 Ginger and Captor in the jungle on the Volibear.
Yeah, so this is what we expected to come out. I mean, I think Graves in top lane is going to be pretty nice against what I assume is going to be a tank Gragas, just being able to kind of free scale. And then I have to really, I don't know. I think I like VGA's draft a little bit better. I think they did a better job of like countering ROTM, seeing what they drafted and picking responses to that, where ROTM just kind of felt like they were picking what they wanted and just let VGA counter them.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It doesn't feel like you have, perceived meta tier list, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like either team were particularly picking off that. More so VGA, at least with the Zeri and the Vex. Even the Graves, you could see as being on that tier list. Our team's basically off the list on every pick except Nautilus.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see some Viego, you see some Ari for sure, but yeah, it's definitely not super surprising what the teams ended up with. I was just kind of surprised that RTM, I don't think it even got one counter pick just because of the way VGA played the draft and decided to go for it.
Yeah, just really interesting use of flex picks, and if that, if that works for them, if they take game 1, that's going to really put a statement forward on this series, right? That makes it just so much harder in game 2 and 3 for our team to draft effectively.
Yeah, and I mean, you should get more counter picks on red side on average, just because you're responding usually to blue side, but I don't feel like our team really got anything out of being blue side, which is where you usually get those stronger picks. Ari is definitely one that is pretty decent, but also isn't insanely strong. I think like picking Zeri or Jinx in that first slot is usually pretty typical, and is usually considered stronger.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it all plays out. RTM 4-1, only lost was to Mint Gaming Mirage. VGA picked up 2 losses, and of course I have the wrong sheet up. I was going for a narrative point, and then I just fumbled it immediately.
No, it's all right. I assume it's going to be to Glue Eaters and Team Ambition Black. But
yeah, 2-1 to Glue Eaters and a 2-0 against Tab. So
yeah, 2 best teams in their division. So I mean, it's always interesting when you get into interdivisional play. You kind of see what division was maybe considered a little bit weaker. And so like a team that gets beat by the 2 best teams could very well be better than a team like RTM that's ranked 2nd in their individual division.
All right, well, now we'll have to see if Spectate is kind to us today as we load in to game number 1.
No black screens.
No black screen, no whammies. All right, I have characters.
This is good. I also have characters.
We're getting there. I'm in. Let's go.
We're in.
That's a poggers. I can't believe I'm
That's like
saying
a
that
first in
unironically. Yeah,
multiple weeks.
that might be a first this season. All right. Well, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. On the blue side, the number 2 seed from Division 1 is Return to the Middlesticks, and on the red side, the number 3 seed from Division 2 is Virtue Gaming Ambition. As I was going to say we're headed out to some 5 points, but it's only 4 points because Coach is there.
Bathroom
He's
break.
taking his time headed up to his spot. What if they
And
had
I'm kind of
invaded through that top side right now? This is
right.
devastating potentially.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that RTM didn't decide to go for some type of cheeky play with the Nautilus. I know a lot of teams really look to try to trade flashes with the Nautilus because you get access to that hex flash, so you're not really losing too much. And also his hook can be used defensively to get himself away. So, but no invades here. Both teams just going very standard 5-point, and also seems like we're going to see both junglers start top.
Yeah, I really appreciate the synergy here between Hawkster and Loki, and Hawkster gonna walk in and find a Nautilus in that bush. Just the timing for Akata, and he'll get a favorable trade because of it. Some interesting runes to point out. Gonna be the summon Airy on Barco Duck means that we'll likely see the lethality build, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's what you'd expect for sure. And then Akata also, instead of going for that aftershock, elects to go for the slow of that glacial.
Yeah, has the Glacial Augment. Schneider, even with the Grasp of the Undying up in the top lane rather than a Comet, means that he's going to have a little bit less power behind his trades, but hopefully some sustain if he's able to, ever get in range to bop number 2 Ginger. Of course, number 1 Ginger is me. Um, oh, my wife, excuse me. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, don't get in trouble there, Maris. Tread carefully. So it kind of looks like I was gonna say I was kind of surprised that VGA didn't actually get a faster push with the 2 ranges there, but maybe they're trying to be wary, knowing that both junglers started topside. They don't really want the waves to be pushed in either way.
Yep, and a quick pause because Schneider's sound died. So not only did he not get to lane on time, now his sound is dead. And, sometimes your coach subs into top lane and then just completely trolls you. And that's something you have to live with.
Yeah, it should hopefully be a
I mean, at max
quick.
you would... Oh,
Yep.
there's no
Perfect.
countdown anymore. All right, well, right back into it. There used to be that, like, you'd see them ready up in the
Right.
chat and then you'd have to wait a second. No, we're right back in. I guess they fixed, in quotation marks, the spectator client for the 90th time.
Yeah, there's been a lot of fixing the spectator client. And then here's the
Oh,
pause that we get from the extra pause.
they didn't fix that. Also, the portraits for VGA aren't lined up again.
Oh my.
They're just not pinned to the wall. They're very slightly off
Just
it.
it really helps the overlays look really good.
Yeah, I put a lot of work. We put a lot of money into this overlay, and there's nothing there. Gank in mid from Captor, just gonna get the charm and the flash out of Eunice. So possible return target, especially before 6, as you mentioned, could be pretty devastating for VGA. And
Yeah, and that is the one escape tool that they already blew for the RE pre-6. So I would not be surprised at all to see a regank pretty soon.
ooh, Lexus got spotted on that ward. I think that might have been a small misplay, unless he wanted to show. Maybe this is the mind game in a mind game. Never can tell.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
mean,
you have
he
to say
definitely
stuff
would
like that for
know.
Masters, but
Right. He definitely would know that he'd be seen there. And I mean, they know they're pathing bot side, so it's not that surprising to see him there. But yeah, neither team really looking to do anything around this bot side, knowing that the others are there.
yeah, hook not quite going to land there from Akata. I'm going to move the overlay behind the screen just so that It doesn't look super terrible. Boop. Okay. I'll move it back up later. Oh, that's... Oh! I forgot about that. I forgot they even changed that. Our overlay doesn't fit anyway.
Oh, because they changed the
They
length of the
changed the
scoreboard or
scoreboard.
something?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
added the... Anyway, there's things happening. I should probably be narrating. That's a first blood in the bottom lane for Akata and Barco Duck.
Yeah, and you kind of see the power of the combo. You've got a lot of lockdown CC, especially if Xayah is able to land her feathers behind. You get the Nautilus hook, then you pull through with the feathers, and then you land the Nautilus auto, and you're just stunned. Then there's nothing you can do except flashing that initial engage. So really nice pickup there, and that's going to give Barco Duck a really nice buy, already getting that serrated Dirk and a Tear of the Goddess.
Yeah, feels like he's pretty ahead of the curve, or pretty far ahead of where he should be. Loki goes back, grabs the Sheen and Longsword on his unfortunately timed back, but that's still, basically a first purchase for Zeri, so he won't feel too terrible about some of these trades in lane. And now we'll have to see
Yeah,
where our supports want to go, because they can maneuver about the map for a little bit. Looks like we're just gonna
yeah.
head back bottom.
Zeri usually does have to wait until around that first item and level 6 to really start getting online. Sheen doesn't give her a ton of fighting power. It's really nice for the autos, but it doesn't give her like anything else outside of just the auto attack damage.
Yep, decent trades again. Barco Duck just forcing Loki off of the wave any chance he can get. Now going to recoup a little bit of that CS lead that he had, and RTM feeling pretty good early on, although number 2 Ginger has a small CS lead up in the top lane. Lexus is here for a gank. On the bottom side, going to go in on the Hawkster gank. Hook from Akata going to land. Hawkster very low, but still has the flash over the wall. Captor forced to follow as well. So 2 flashes in exchange for essentially nothing, just the heal from Barco Duck. So RTM feeling pretty good about this play around the bottom side. And maybe going to look for a dragon afterwards. Not sure exactly where Lexus wants to go. Oh, he's going to interrupt the recall from Captor. That's very annoying. But
Yeah, and it looks like they're not going to elect to go for that Drake. You definitely could think about it, but I think what they're actually wanting is RTM just wants to keep holding this freeze that is just really, really hard for this bot lane to break, especially now that you've got flash down on Hawkster. They definitely want to just look to land a hook with Akata's flash being up.
yeah, Schneider just trying to sustain up here in the top lane. Doing all right, keeping even in CS, but as you can see, it's hard to go in with the belly flop for the trades.
Yeah, this is a lane that just like is not very interactive for either champ. I mean, Graves should just be kind of auto shoving, and the Gragas is just going to be sustaining through that damage and just trying to get as much farm as possible. So
Ooh, I don't know if he was
shouldn't
looking for the
see a lot
farm or he
happen.
thought he'd hit the trade, but yeah, maybe an argument could be had for the phase rush in some of this situation, just so if you're able to land that belly bop, you hit belly bop, W auto, and you just zoom away without allowing number 2 Ginger to trade. But
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get a lot of grass procs, so I kind of agree with your analysis there. But VGA is going to start up the dragon here.
yeah, one of the side, the costs of the freeze is a little bit of lane priority, and that means the Captor will be able to smite away that dragon and secure the first one in the game for VGA. Snyder really low, but just able to survive through the collateral damage up in the top lane.
Yeah, it's a well-placed cast to get himself out of danger there, but we might see a lane gank here from Captor. He's got his R, so it could be pretty good, but it looks like RTM's actually kind of spotted it out with the danger pings going down.
Yep, feeling the hairs on the back of their neck just a little bit, and they've been pretty happy to freeze anyway, so I haven't seen them really shove. I'm not quite going to land from Yuna, as Lexus hovering around bot side now. Probably going to go for a crash here, and you have a 35 CS lead. You can force this into tower and maintain that, and this is a nice little clinic so far from Barkoduck and Akata. Not a whole lot of blood. Well, never mind. Gonna get the hook into the Feather Storm. They need to pull it back with the Root Collar. They actually don't need it. Just the damage from Lexus as he's jumping forward. Hawkster low underneath the tower. The dive for the double kill for Lexus, and doesn't even need to take the Karma. But in comes the Volibear looking for the trade. Gonna rip through the Zaya, and Chapanya Fan is roamed down as well. He'll scare Akata back into the tower, and there's nowhere to run for the Nautilus. So the roam down from the Vex does even up the dive, but uh, you can't replace that CS that's still crashing underneath towers. I'd still say probably a small net positive for RTM.
Yeah, Loki is really, really down in CS just because of that loss. And the freeze that the RTM bot lane has been employing in this early game. But I think probably it's just a little too deep for RTM there. Could have definitely just gotten the one kill and gotten out. Knowing that Volibear was probably bot side. But in the end, 2 for 2, and Zeri's set even further behind, so can't be too sad about it at the end of the play.
Yeah, Hawkster up in the top lane, and Snyder just gonna zip on out of there.
Get some gold for Hawkster with those auto attacks.
Oh, Yuna getting caught maybe a little bit. Able to dash his way out. Has to use the Spirit Rush, though, so no offensive tool for the Ahri is, maybe potentially going to be the Rift Herald now opened up for VGA. And as well as the CS is gone in the bottom lane, and, Snyder doing a decent job hanging in there in top lane, all of these objectives getting kind of hemorrhaged toward VGA. The first Dragon, now the first Rift Herald could really start to open things up for Virtue Gaming.
Yeah, I mean, RTM has done a really good job of getting a gold lead for themselves, just with those kills onto the Viego and then the CS discrepancy in bot lane. But it has, as you said, kind of cost them these early objectives. And those are going to be objectives, especially this first Rift Herald, that is going to be able to kind of equalize those losses for VGA, assuming they can get some tower plates with it.
Yeah, Barkoduck gonna back right now and grab that Eclipse. So very strong on the Zaya right now, especially compared to Loki Dosi, who's in quite a power trough right now. The Hearthbound Axe plus Sheen combo, not really much of a match for a finished mythic item.
And as we have talked about, I mean, Zeri does need some items to kind of come online. Is really strong once she does, but if you can keep setting her behind like this, it's going to be really good for RTM. But they're going to go for a play on Barkoduck here.
Yep, getting a big chunk. The
oh my.
Little shield plus the pull through actually equalizes that trade for Barkoduck. And now with Dragon spawning here in a minute, people starting to buzz around. It's a Cloud Dragon, not that important in and of itself, but would set up nicely for an early soul potential for VGA.
Yeah, with all the bot lane priority that RTM has, and the strength in their bot lane, especially compared to VGA, you really don't want to give this dragon up.
Ooh, I don't know that they knew Capture was there, but then with the Rift Herald dropped immediately now, full knowledge that the Volibear's there. They're trying to get bottom lane prio with the Herald, or it might have been just a misplace. He was looking for the ward in the bush. I've done that a million times.
Yeah.
But yeah, Shelly not doing a whole lot. Meanwhile, there's just trading across the map. For some reason, this duel between Schneider and number 2 Ginger is way more important. Collateral damage comes out. Schneider not able to find the belly bop, and now number 2 Ginger out of mana, so he'll have to back off. Nothing really happened down in the bottom lane. Yuna looking for a pick, not able to find the charm, gets scared, feared back in, but Lexus is here, not able to find the stun either. And with all these CC abilities missing, it might be Yuna that pays the price. The Shadow comes in, captured just forward with the Rolling Thunder and finds that one. And a little over... Oh,
wow.
Wow. Okay. I can't process what just happened. Go ahead.
Yeah, Yuna just went a little too far there, especially knowing that his CC is down. But then you've got the trade from Barkoduck. Just the lethality is doing so much damage with these pull-throughs. Already up 2 levels over his lane counterpart, Loki Doki. And sadly, it looks like it's going to mean RTM's going to pick up the dragon at the tail end of this. But yeah, 1-for-1 trade, but could have just been a 1-for-0 for RTM if Yuna doesn't go too far, realizing he doesn't have kill threat without his CC.
Yep, Lexus able to secure the dragon, even up, and let's see what flavor of Rift we get for game number 1. I
Skates.
haven't decided what flavor that is, so it's Hex Tech flavored. It's science flavored?
Blue raspberry?
Probably not. Uh,
No. That's what I would think about it, but I don't know. Electric something.
yeah, at least it doesn't taste like poison. We got rid of that dragon. Nice dodge there
Yes.
by number 2 Ginger, but ultimately doesn't amount to a whole lot other than just the ult expended from Schneider.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those games where Graves has like 20,000 extra damage just because they're just trading constantly on the top side, but it really isn't amounting to nothing. Um, there's just been a lot of fighting going in top lane, and so far it has been number 2 Ginger that's getting the better of Schneider just a little bit, but hasn't really amounted to much.
Yep, Barco Duck swinging up to the top lane. Maybe have the 3v3. Hook from Akata, though Chapanya fan is here first. Gets the big fear. Lexus pretty low. Ignite ticking down to Hawkster. Akata might be the one that pays for this. Oh my goodness, the Feather Storm just rips through, and now Yuna dashes in with the Spirit Rush. Misses the charm, but Captor has nowhere to go as he gets taken down by the Heartbreaker from Lexus.
That's just one of those things where you're like used to Xayah, especially because you're not used to seeing this lethality build do nothing with her ult damage. Like you think you can just stand in that, but then you see just the first part of the ulti coming down and killing Karma there with quite a bit of health left. Able to pick that up without even pulling the feathers back. So RTM kind of turns a play that was looking really good for VGA there.
Yeah, and now Schneider able to secure the bot lane turret. Has to dash away and even flash away from Hawkster and Loki Dosi. But, you know, he'll take the solo gold on the turret and probably happy to be away from the Graves for a little bit, even though it's into the double ranged lane now. Oops, Smoke Cloud gonna land. See if Barco Duck is actually strong enough to take this 1v1. Oh, that collateral damage does so much. The teleport coming in just to ward off the pursuit. Lexus looking for Chapanya fan. Oh, forward with the Heartbreaker. Gets the stun. Gets some autos through. Schneider looking for an angle for the cast, but gets feared back in. Now Captor flying in from the top. Schneider collapsing as well. But our team is regrouped. They're trying to push their way forward into this little gap in between the Baron and mid lane. They'll find one kill. Lexus dashing forward now is Graves. He's already Tracer. He's dashing in, and he can't really find anything more. I wanted that joke, and I reached a little too far for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think RTM, that's another play where it feels really scary for them because they don't have Barco Duck, who got super chunked out at the start of that play. But then they're able to just do enough to get one kill, and that's kind of the story of this game. It's just been really, really close plays where RTM has just come out slightly ahead, and it's amounting to already a 3K gold lead.
Yeah, now Virtue Gaming forced to respond to some of this push up in the top lane. Our first Hex Dragon is up in a minute 30, which should be a priority for both teams. I'm imagining Lexus is doing the Rift Herald right now, just within spitting distance of a lot of members of VGA, so not the safest play, but it looks like he'll take it down and grab the eye of Sheila.
Yeah, and this is where you definitely want to use the second Rift Herald as a way to get that Drake. It doesn't really bring the most value, that second Rift Herald, unless you're getting another objective off of it, like a full tower, or are able to use it to get automatic lane priority and use it for that Drake that's going to be spawning here pretty soon.
Yeah, and Lexus is up here on the top side right now with the Rift Herald. He's got 45 seconds still before the dragon spawns, but potentially could just drop it up there, and
Really quick boss.
that was weird. All right. Yeah,
Schneider no TP here, actually, so this is going to be kind of hairy for RTM if they want to go for this dragon. Gragas is going to either have to just walk down there because number 2 Ginger does have that TP, or see here, but we're getting the long end of the pause, I guess.
Yeah. You know, if he can stay close to Ginger, can interrupt with the E or the explosive cask, but usually don't want to be too close to him. Gragas went to law school for this, just to be matched up against a man with a shotgun, and sometimes that's the way life goes.
Yeah, and you see number 2 Ginger trying to back there, and Sneeder just not letting him. But RTM is going to use this Rift Herald, I'm expecting, with the wave shoved in here to get priority. Not quite yet.
To get
Now
priority, there it is. All right. Yeah, Sheila's hanging out, taking a little damage, gonna get the turret. So I don't know if that's exactly the priority that they wanted, because now the minion wave still isn't pushing, but it has forced VGA back, and Lexus will slide right on into the Dragon Pit and should be able to take that. Ginger not really backing off looking for the teleport, so not going to be a contest. And yeah, look at where Loki Dosi is. He's just stuck underneath his tier 2 tower, watching the minions die in the middle of the lane right now.
Yeah, he is not feeling very good. They've really done a good job of shutting him down here in the early game, and then just have not really allowed him to get very much farm. And I really want to commend RTM. They did a really good job on that second Herald. They got the ideal scenario where you get a tower along with your dragon. So really good pickup for them. And now still staying about that 3K gold lead, but looking really good here as we move into the mid game.
I love the passive-aggressive support battle. You each put a blue ward across, and then immediately, no, that's my pink now. We're taking those.
Then you land the poke, and you threaten that you have more teammates there, so you have to back off for a little bit.
Oh, Hook not quite going to land there on a Captor. I don't know that results in a whole lot anyway, but forcing him to sit in the back of the pit and think about what he did for a little bit. As
Volley Baron timeout, yes.
RTM, maybe looking for a play around this this Baron that's newly spawned, but right now seem content just to kind of chill for a little bit. Maybe threaten this top lane tower. Not a whole lot of big glaring objectives right now for them.
Yeah, RTM just trying to play around Barco Duck, who has a lot of their gold, has a lot of their damage, and
Akata walking maybe a little too far forward, sees a couple of members of EGA, and he'll back off, but still secures the push for ROTM, and that should mean that top lane tower here. There it goes.
Yeah, and VGA knows they just need to buy time for this Zeri to get online, get some items, and get to those fights later in the game where she can make an impact.
They're looking for this one, though. Captor is in, looking for Barco Duck. Have to watch the Zaya's health bar, flashes back forward with the Blade Collar, but now in comes Schneider with the teleport. Lexus not quite able to find it. Hawkster going to be the first victim of the fight. Number 2 Ginger able to dash out of the cask, but Yuna's there with the charm. They're getting some damage through, and they'll eventually finish off the Graves. The Dawning Shadow, I'm pretty sure that's right, hits for Chapanya fan, but now we're just zipping through the Hex Gates in pursuit of the Vex. A little bit of damage tickling on through. Yuna leading the charge, trying to track down Chapanya fan. Does he have anywhere to go? Vex is pretty fast.
Akata that's kind of flanking here. They're gonna have the extra movement speed. Gonna try to Hexgate on the opposite side of the map. It looks like Schneider might suss it out, but it's gonna get out actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall that play really positive for RTM. Barco Duck just buying so much time with the Featherstorm, even though he was kind of caught out, and then they go ahead and commit that teleport to the top side, and are able to pick up a couple kills for themselves.
Yeah, plus the big pink ward by the Wolf Pit. That's the big objective that Chapanya fan was after there.
Yes. But that does mean that RTM is going to be down a teleport here, with the Baron on the opposite side of the map, from where you'd expect Schneider to be. So that might be something that you can take advantage of. Match the Graves up against that Gragas, and then try to force a 4v5 where Gragas isn't in it.
Yep, minute 15 to go on our next dragon as well, so we should see. Let's split prio, see where our teams want to go. Captor and Hawkster looking for a little flank, but I don't think they're gonna really want to find anything. Just gonna throw Mantra Q in there, and yeah, we're definitely settled in now. 24 minutes We haven't seen the jitters that you normally see out of teams in the first game of a playoff series. Both of these teams look pretty comfortable and playing pretty confidently.
Yeah, there's been no real like big misplays. It's really just been teams kind of trying to find picks and executing. There haven't been any like weird jitter things that you're used to seeing in that game one, but we're gonna see the dragon up here in 30 seconds, and RTM with that outer mid lane tower is gonna just kind of have the auto priority. It's really really hard when your tower's up and the enemy teams isn't to get that prio if you're trying to defend. But
Yeah, this is
Zaya's gonna get the prio, and it might just be a free Baron or dragon take for RTM.
and also kind of interesting. Barco Duck doubling down on some of these cheap items gets the Serpent's Fang finished up third, and still maintaining about a 1.5 item advantage over Loki Dosi. Feels pretty good as they get the push in mid. They get the tower down, but that might just signal the dragon going over to VGA as they start it up. Where's the rest of ROTM? Can they look for the fight immediately? Now they're able to group up, look for the engaged Snyder with a big explosive cast, just blowing apart the rest of the fight. The dragon dealing quite a bit of damage, but now the fight's starting to break out. This dragon goes over to ROTM. It's 2 kills immediately for Barco Duck as they're still chasing for a little bit more. Lexus dives in. They'll secure the volley bear who dove into the backline, and that looks like it might be all for ROTM, but they grab 3 kills and the dragon, and now they're headed their way to Baron.
Yeah, that might just be the play that kind of dooms VGA in this game one. It's really really hard to come back. You RTM gets everything they want from that. They're gonna get they get the mid lane tower, they get the dragon, and it looks like they're also gonna get this Baron as well. So RTM just doing a really good job there, using their mid lane priority to just walk in and then bully on the backside of that dragon fight.
Yep, no cross-map steal shenanigans available, so RTM secures the Baron. As a result of that, they have a 9,000-ish, 8,500 gold lead right now at 26 minutes. And you can see those items start to really stack up. The biggest one, of course, is that the 80 carry split right now. Look,
Yeah.
it's 5,000 just for Barco Duck right now.
Yeah, and actually elects to pick up this Hex Drinker, which I think is kind of a smart purchase. You really only have, with Zeri out of the game, the only way that you really die is getting blown up by the Vex. And with that Hex Drinker, you're not really afraid of that at all. So should just be RTM grouping up here and kind of getting whatever they want.
Yep, a spot Chapanya fan. He lands the ult, but doesn't look like they want to commit for that one, which... fair enough, honestly. It's not that long of a cooldown. But Lexus thinks differently. He sees that and wants blood. Able to chunk out Chapanya fan now on the top side. A little bit of damage tickling through onto Ginger. He's low. The cask isn't quite going to be enough to finish off, as it does just trigger the shield bow passive. And ROTM now returning to the scene of the crime, back to the mid lane to shove it on in.
Yeah, and that's a really key ultimate down. Chapanya fan blowing the Vexel, not being able to use it for anything, and then almost getting picked there by Lexus on the Viego. But RTM's just going to be able to use that to get this
pretty
tower.
low. That's a really dirty hook, though, that lands onto Captor. They'll take him down. Tower falling in pretty short order as well. Hook from Akana. Oh, just sidestepped by Ginger. Charm lands onto the back line, but they can't really follow it up, and so it's just the inhibitor turret for now as the second wave comes in. RTM looking to renew pleasantries. Loki very low. The flash forward for the Feather Storm from Barco Duck. He gets the pullback through for a double kill, and ROTM walks into the base, knocks open the front door. Knock, knock. It's a Crow Storm as they come on through. Number 2 Ginger falls as well, and ROTM will take down the Nexus for game number 1.
And Barco Duck there making another aggressive play with his ultimate, which is almost something you never see, but RTM's going to take game 1, and that's just off the back of this bot lane. And Barco Duck and Akata playing so well, set Zeri so far behind, and there was just no hope of her getting back in the game.
Yeah, so we'll take just a short break. We'll be back with game number 2, ROTM with a statement game. In game number 1, they go up 1-0, and we'll be back here shortly.
your client crush?
All right, we are back with game number 2 between Virtue Gaming Ambition and Return of the Middlesticks. RTM with a pretty dominant performance in game number 1, and that sets us up for a interesting draft here in game number 2.
Yeah, especially since I thought VGA played the draft really, really well in that game 1, with the flex picks being able to counter everything RTM wanted to do there, and getting some of the premier strong picks. But we see that RTM really executed on their comp, shut down the Zeri, so she really wasn't able to be a factor in that game at all. And then in the early game, just had a lot of really close plays that ended up going positive for them and built on that lead, especially because they were able to shut down that Zeri and keep her out of the game for the entire duration of it. So we'll have to see what is adjusted. We already see the Viego getting banned away, and Lexus looked really good on that in the game 1.
Yeah, other than that, same ban so far. We'll see what VGA wants to drop. And they're gonna drop 2 things. They're gonna ban the Trundle as well away from Lexus.
Yeah, definitely don't like Lexus on the Trundle or Viego. And that's got to make you think that maybe they're looking to play maybe weak side top, tank top this game. Anytime Trundle's off the table, you don't want to have those resistances stolen, and it's going to be a Hecarim first pick. So that actually makes a lot of sense. They get two good junglers off the table, and then just pick a really good jungler for themselves with that first pick. But that does mean that Zeri's still going to be up. We're going to see that locked in.
I'll just let you narrate, honestly. 'Cause, yeah, there's the Zeri and Nautilus. I thought the Ahri ban was kind of interesting. They first picked it in game number 1, not wanting to give it over, so I'll hover that. And it looks like the answer to Zeri Nautilus from Loki Dosi and Hawkster is going to be Ashe and Leona.
Yeah, I mean, how do you lock down a champ that has a lot of mobility? Well, just draft a lot of CC, and they got that in Ashe Leona. The main thing is getting onto Zeri initially, which is pretty slippery, and then of course she has her dash over walls. But Akata looked really confident on the Nautilus pick in game 1, and happy to see him on it again here. And then we're gonna see Karthus actually.
Yeah, so almost 100% jungle, right? That champion doesn't exist in the lane right now.
Yeah, you have to think this is just gonna go for the farming jungle, and it'll be really interesting to see how it gets off, especially because you've got Hecarim Leona, which you got to be kind of worried about as Karthus as like some invade threat, especially if bot lane gets ahead, because Hecarim's going to be ganking a lot more than Karthus is, especially in the early stages of the game, and so you don't want to be in danger of losing out on your jungle. So I think RTM's really got to pick something in the mid lane here that has some prio, so that it can help protect against invades.
Yeah, the Yone's still up for our TM. That's a Yuna signature TM pick. I don't know if he would want to blind it necessarily, but taking away the Akali and Zoe. Although Yone's pretty good against both of those champions. But yeah,
Yep.
there's the Yone. Gives you a little bit of physical damage, a little bit of lane pressure pretty much against whoever you're matched up against in mid. And we'll see where VGA wants to counter.
Yeah, and I mean, getting that early Karthus pick allows you to have the damage profile that allows for a AD mid laner. And so picking up the Yone, and also banning away picks that he didn't want to play into, is pretty nice for Yuna in that mid lane. We're going to see the Vex as the answer. Again, a lot of dashes to kind of counter, get your passive off a lot on this Vex into Yone, and we'll have to see what the blind top pick will be.
Yeah, bated breath here for 6 seconds. Will we see shenanigans again, or will it be a more standard pick up in the top lane? It's going to be the Gnar, very standard pick for number 2 Ginger.
Yeah, very safe. Blind gives you that team fighting, gives you some nice range, which is always good in top lane. So I like that pick, especially since you don't see RTM's top, and it'll be interesting to see if Schneider tries to go back to something that's a little tankier, which won't do quite as well into the Gnar, but Camille hovered here and locked in.
Yeah, the Camille is a pretty decent matchup into Gnar later on in the game. It can be rough early, though, so we'll see if he's able to navigate that one successfully. Although, looked fine in the losing early matchup last game, so maybe just where Schneider's comfort zone is, picking a little bit weaker lanes but getting stronger later on for the team.
Yeah, I think the one key difference is that you're not really going to have jungle pressure to help you out if things are going badly in that top lane. Just because Karthus is going to look to just farm as much as possible and then come in with that high damage because he's so accelerated on the items from all that farming.
Yep, so into second draft, again 1-0 for Return of the Middlesticks. It's a best of 5, so nothing concrete decided in this game, but a win here would put Rodham on match point, and a win here for VGA would mean that we head to a best of 3 essentially. So stakes mount up as you go in these best of 5s. I don't need to preach to the... Are we a choir? Are there pro choirs out there?
What would be the murder? Preach the murder.
Preach to the murder. they have like a preacher? Is that canon? Is that a thing?
I'm not sure.
Alright. Well, regardless, we've got to watch this draft a second time, but much more straightforward than our first draft. There aren't a whole lot of flex picks. Everybody kind of filling into their niche, and it feels a little bit more like we're picking down the tier list, at least for individual players. I am very curious about this Lexus Karthus, though. That's the one pick that doesn't feel quite as at home to me.
Yeah, but I think it's also interesting. You've got both teams electing to only pick one champion from the last draft, so there's going to be quite a bit of a shakeup, and from what we saw in the last game, and now Bart Goduck is going to be on that Zeri pick that him and Akata shut down so well in game 1. And then of course you've got the Karthus pick. That's the big question mark for RTM's team comp. Seems like one of those picks that's like you either win or lose the game off of it. If it gets strong enough, is able to successfully scale and get to the break points of those big items, can be a game winning for you in the amount of damage it's able to pump out.
Yep, we don't have that disgusting one-shot potential build though. All the champions in this game unfortunately buy a little bit of health or resistances as part of their normal build usually, so probably won't get to see that one.
Yeah, both teams also with that 1 AP magic damage dealer, so I think armor is going to be a premium for a lot of the champions in this game. Pretty effective, and it might be something where you even see Leona pick up something like getting some armor and then go chains on the Karthus just to not have to buy the magic resist. But we'll see what they elect to do in the builds here.
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting thought. Is the early chains to help out.
Yeah, it's a really good item when you only have one source of damage on the enemy team to worry about. You don't, especially a champion that you want to be locking down and not taking damage from. So would definitely help out with those global ults from the Karthus.
Yeah, well, 3-minute spectator delay. Yay! Essentially third draft, really.
Yes. Nobody swapping around in this champ select. No drama. No
one even thinking about the Vex support this game. Rough. Well.
I think the tale of this game is really going to be if Captor is able to execute on this Hecarim, get his lanes a little bit further ahead while this Karthus is scaling up. If they're able to get early picks in the game and maybe even invade Karthus jungle and force him out and kind of disrupt that farming pattern he likes to do, then it can get pretty difficult for RTM. On the flip side, if they're not punished for this Karthus pick, it's going to be pretty hard for them to lose the game, I feel like, just because of the amount of damage that you can deal out on the Karthus across the whole team. So that really will be a determining factor in this game.
Yeah, I still worry a little bit about it, not as much because this is our Masters team. If this were, any of our other teams, I'd, really harp on, you can't really group up and fight as this RTM team. That's not where your strength is at. With these champions, you really need to spread the map out and play to those 1v1s or 2v2 skirmishes with the Camille and the Yone.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to not be taking full 5-on-5 team fights unless you have a reason to do it. So again, it's going to be Hecarim, trying to get those early Drake stacking, force RTM into your hands, and force them to do what they're not really built to do. But there's going to be a lot of pick potential, especially because you've got the Karthus ult coming out from the jungle. that can just kind of come in at any time and finish off champions that are in really close 1v1s.
Yeah, well, 20 seconds to go. Thank you guys for joining us here on the stream. If you don't follow the Middlesticks stream, please hit the follow button, as that does help support us. And if you have a Prime sub, we'd also love to have it. Is that enough shilling? I feel like I should have a longer shill script. That's all I've got.
No, that's great. You can help.
If you're in the Rodham Discord, join the March Madness tournament. We're giving away a jersey and a mouse pad. And there's only 3 people in it right now, so your odds are very high, even if you have no idea about college basketball. Just pick some teams, pick the funny little teams to win the funny little games, and it might work out well for you. You might come home with a jersey.
Yeah, I've watched like 0 college basketball this year, and I always enjoy filling out a bracket anyway. So, and I think ESPN does a pretty good job of giving you little blurbs so you can kind of decide on your picks, make some estimated guesses.
Yeah. Also, if you pick Colorado State to win the championship, it's unlosable. No bias here.
Definitely done.
Well, here we are onto the Rift for game number 2. No, I thought it was fun. The CSU stream had like their Mountain West semifinal on it. I watched that the other day. That was kind of interesting. They had like they had like a full studio for 19 people watching on the stream, which felt crazy to me. But
yeah, I know. CSU is their coaches in a lot of the coaching carousels for some teams. I only know that because K-State's looking for a new coach this year, so some alma maters might steal from your alma mater.
hey, it's fair. We steal everybody else's, football and basketball coaches. They can steal our LOL coach, I guess. Oh, another quick 5-point for both sides as we head into the top sides to start off our jungle clears. Means that we could see a premium put on some of these bot lane summoner spells early on. Kind of interesting. Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I was gonna say again the glacial augment on Akata, but he's paired it with an exhaust rather than ignite. And Marco Duck has the cleanse just to try to get out of some of the chain CC that's gonna come out of the Ashe and Leona lane.
Yeah, I have to say I don't quite like the glacial augment as much, because Leona is just gonna be straight up tankier in any all in, assuming she has that aftershock, and it's really good in the double range matchup. I liked it a lot because you don't have as many escape tools that we saw last game, but probably just want some extra tankiness in that 2v2.
Yeah, I also still don't like the grasp for Schneider top lane. Feels like it's gonna be hard to proc again against the Gnar, but far be it from me to criticize them. Just take whatever I say with a little grain of salt.
Yeah, I think I like it slightly better here just because there's not a lot of better runes for Camille, and you'll be able to at least proc it when he's in melee form like we saw just a trade ago there, but
I feel like you just take Unsealed Spellbook. But Yuna very low underneath the tower, trying to bounce forward. Does he get enough damage? It's not enough to trade it back, and it's first blood for Chapanya Fan on the Vex.
Yeah, Chapanya Fan executing really well there, just poking him down and then just picking up the kill with that ignite, going in and being aggressive. Really nice pickup there, and something that VGA really needed after that game 1.
Yeah, Lexus pretty low in his own jungle, but not under any particular threat. Although here comes Captor. Okay, never mind. He's going after the crab. I was a little worried there for Lexus. He's on like tens of health. He's trying to kite out the Gromp right now, and he didn't actually finish it off.
Yeah, is that? Oh, I didn't even see that Karthus has no flash as well. It just exhausts. So yeah, I think you touched on it earlier, but I didn't quite realize it. I have to say that RTM's bot lane has done a really good job with wave control in these, from what we've seen in this game 2 early, and then also in game 1. Just always making sure that they have it where they want it.
Yep, this is the downside of this matchup right now. You win your little trade, and then you just get hyper proc to death as you walk back to your tower in shame.
Yep.
Kind of interesting. Chapanya fan took off the skin for game number 2. Maybe that's the big change up that he needed. Regardless, he does find first blood. So
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of surprising that RTM in the draft. Oh, we're gonna see a gank here.
Karthus looking for the gank up here. Number 2 Ginger. Pretty low, gonna get into melee form, gets the wallop in, and Captor is here to try to turn this one around. Lexus very low, burning down to the rampage from Captor. He'll finish off Schneider as well. A double kill for the Hecarim.
Yeah, and the difference in Karthus' play is like how many of your little dimes can you land there, and we didn't see quite a few from Lexus there. Maybe not showing the most comfort on the pick. And it pretty rare Karthus gank that we saw, but just gets turned around in that 2v2 from Captor. Really nice awareness, and VGA already off to a really solid start for themselves, up 1,500 gold only 5 minutes into this game, with the first blood and then that double kill in top.
Yeah, and with that, that means that Lexus is basically just... now there's no chance that Karthus leaves his jungle. He's got to farm up to 6. He's got to try to get involved. And that's just going to make it more and more miserable for Yuna here in the mid lane. The ultimate lands the Living Shadow from Chapanya fan, and he finds another solo kill in mid.
Yeah, and you really got to wonder for RTM's draft, were they thinking about this Vex pick when they were picking the Yone? It really makes you wonder. Especially, I'm surprised they didn't think of it, because they banned 2 mid laners out, and then elected to go for this pick, and then had Vex in the last game. So it should have been on their mind for sure.
Akata might be caught as well. He's got the dredge line to get out. But yeah, really interesting. They banned the Zoe and they banned
Akali.
Akali I can definitely see is very annoying for Yone, but Zoe is a pretty good matchup traditionally for Yone. If you get slept, you can, well, we're getting the 1v1 up in the top lane. Schneider uses the X-Tech ultimatum to dodge the wallop, but does he have anything left in the tank? The second Q isn't enough. The auto attack from Ginger, and now he's got his first solo kill on the Gnar. Lexus in trouble in his own jungle as they're going to find the Zenith Blade onto him, and VGA is just rolling over this game number 2.
Yeah, this is what we talked about. If you start losing early, it's going to be really, really hard to do anything with this Leona Hecarim just invading you, especially since there's no flash on Lexus, just that exhaust. You're just going to see them continue to invade his jungle and not allow him to farm. And really, really good play here by VGA so far in this early game.
Yeah, and Yuna even expending the Fate Seal just to try to do get a little catch, something in return, and not able to find home. Akata's pretty far forward. He still has the dredge line to try to get out, but he doesn't hit the wall, and actually is going to get kicked back in by Captor, forced to flash, but there's just enough damage from the onslaught of shadows to take him down. And now the one seeming bright spot for ROTM, this bottom lane, falling apart just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a really decent CS lead again, Akata and Barco Duck, but with the rest of the team falling around them, it makes it really, really hard to play.
Yep, maybe a little ego here from ROTM. This doesn't seem like the most synergistic comp, but we'll see if they can scale it into the game. They're a little rough to start out. 7-0 and a 2,000 gold lead at 8 minutes is pretty good for VGA. They have the first dragon as well.
Yeah, and again, they have the better team fighting comp, so if they're able to start stacking these drakes, it's going to be really difficult. And number 2 Ginger again just trading on to Schneider.
Yeah, the Nars show every time he goes mega, it's up, and every time it's up, he can slam somebody into the wall, and just winning trade after trade. Akata looking for something here in the bottom lane. Hawkster low, but he gets the Aftershock proc, and that's going to be enough that they'll have to back off. Now Loki Dosi with the level 6 has the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Is there enough to dodge it? There's still the Summoner spells in the tank for Barco Duck, so they know they can't go too aggressive. Yuna going to try to roam down, but he immediately walks over a ward, and I don't think we should see any shenanigans here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I think they really wanted to try to look for something bot because Barco Duck was so low on mana, but with that cleanse and flash, there's just really no way onto it. So elect to back up, and they're gonna get this wave pushed in.
Yeah, now with the Requiem available, though, maybe they could look for something cheeky. They're trying to shove in and at least get an angle to look at the dive, but it might just be the recall right now. They have, again, another CS lead, as we mentioned a couple of times, but that's equalized by the gold. I bet they're, or by the kill, and yeah, they're pretty much dead even in gold right now.
Yeah, so far things have really kind of calmed down for RTM, which I think maybe the one bright spot for them is that they scale really well. This Camille, Zeri, and Karthus do scale well into the late game and can get pretty strong. So if they can slow things down and not get too far behind in the early game, there's maybe a shot at them coming back later. But Schneider is just really getting beat up by this Gnar in top.
Yep, looking for another recall. He's even in CS, which is something, but the kill and the assists definitely tilted in the favor. Yeah, anytime Yuna looks at trying to get some of this gold in mid lane. Looks like Akata accidentally intercepted the arrow from Loki Dosi from bottom lane. It was headed for Yuna, but not quite able to connect onto him. And now Captor and Ginger gonna wail away on this top lane tower, and they definitely win the 2v2. And you know, outside of tower range, there's no contest. Lexus has to use the exhaust, but there's just nothing really happening. Schneider looking to collapse the Requiem will pick up, well, help pick up one, but now Yuna getting aggressed on in the jungle, the Living Shadow over the wall. He'll get the reset and another solo kill for Chapanya fan. But the hook in the bottom lane now for Akata. They use the Lightning Crash. Can they find any damage? It's just the pressure right now from Barco Duck and Akata.
Yeah, fights all over there, and I think it was a really good play there by number 2 Ginger to flash in and kill the Karthus, but you just can't fight on top of Karthus's dead body. Is able to do a lot of damage with the pool, and then even if he's not landing his Q. But
Solar Flare going to land Hawkster pretty low, but still has the Aftershock backup. They're going to use the Nautilus ultimate to try to disengage. Akata very low, not tanking the volley though. Barco Duck just trying to use anything that he can. Loki Dosi gets the auto in and sneaks it through. Barco Duck low, trying to dash out. They trade the 80 carries in the bottom lane, but it's the double kill for Loki Dosi, and it's night and day from what we saw in game number 1.
Yeah, well played there. Both bot lanes just trying to fight it out, and RTM trying to make something happen for them across the map, but VGA again coming out ahead, and they're playing so much better in the second game.
Ginger might just look for the dive here. Schneider walks forward and can't find it, and yeah, there's Ginger with his second solo kill up in the top lane, and it's a lane kingdom right now for VGA.
Yeah, they're just winning all across the map. Both solo lanes playing so well, and it's jumping out to a huge gold lead here, even bigger than RTM had in game 1. So almost up 5k. It's really looking dim for RTM.
Yeah, they're going to try to rush down the dragon, but this is in full knowledge of VGA. This feels almost like a last-ditch effort of a dying team, but they'll grab the dragon. They'll be able to get the crab maybe as well, and it's something.
Yeah. I mean, it delays them. It buys them 5 more minutes of time than they would have had for a soul fight, assuming we get there. And so it's that.
Solar
nice
Flare
there,
to follow up.
but,
Yuna has to use the Fate Sealed. He's taken the Leona a little bit too far into the turret. Has to dodge out of the Living Shadow, but Captor just charges on in from the side on the flank, and Lexus doesn't have enough mana to really do anything to help.
Yeah, and again, we're just seeing how powerful this Vex matchup is into the Yone. Already up 40 CS and basically 4 solo kills.
Now Schneider looking for anything up in the top lane. Leona executes to the tower as they pick up another kill in the top lane.
Yeah, solo lane kingdom for VGA. It's just been the tale of this game, and now that the towers are starting to fall across the map, it's going to be really hard for Karthus to get any farm that he wants to scale into the late game.
Yeah, finished up his Leandries, but nothing more than that. They're looking for Loki
Ooh.
Dosi. Oh, Akata not able to find the flash. Do they have the damage? Not quite enough on the end. Loki burning very slightly to that Leandries, but it's just some turret plates on the bottom side right now for ROTM. No Lightning Crash available. They do have the Nautilus ultimate if they want it. But
Yeah, that could have potentially been a very good play there for RTM, but Akata failed his flash over the wall. And then maybe just some miscoordination there with the Karthus ult.
Yuna
Oh
greeting a
my.
little bit for some minions might pay for it. Ginger goes mega, but not quite able to find the damage as he'll scoot a boot out of there.
Yeah, that's when you go mega when you don't quite want to. You want to stay in that range form so you can maybe poke out more underneath the tower, but going mega there and not quite able to finish off the kill, but again is going to force Ioneta back, and this lead's just going to keep getting exacerbated.
Hecarim one-shotting the Raptors is something I didn't need to see. The full tank Hecarim doing that.
Did you put the mature stream on for the killing the Raptors there?
Well, now the jungle wide open for the taking for VGA, which makes it harder and harder for Karthus to be a champion. The Death Singer singing a sad song right now. What sad song do you think he's singing right now? As he's getting 1v2'd by number 2 Ginger. Oh my goodness.
Something about him not wanting to be there anymore, but
yeah, he's going to walk into the tower. It's a shutdown that goes to Yuna, so, maybe not all is lost, but the one-for-one trade in the middle of the jungle, not ideal by any stretch of the imagination, as Virtue Gaming now pushing in on their bottom lane tower. Will take that down in relatively short fashion. Fate Sealed going into Chapanya Fan. He's got the flash still away, and there's just no CC to follow up right now from ROTM as Hawkster collapses from the bottom side.
yeah, trading 1-for-1 for RTM is decent because they do have shutdowns to get. So just trying to find anything to get some gold in this game, but I appreciate them trying to be proactive. It's just looking really, really dim.
Yeah, poor Yuna's on the garage sale build right now. Nowhere near his Blade of the Ruined King, which it looks like is what he's gonna go for first. He's gonna go and
Could be shield bow 2.
yeah, could be shield bow potentially. Yeah, there's the thing, the Noon Quiver.
Yep.
Does it not function outside of Noon? Like, why is it specifically a Noon Quiver?
And maybe it just gets buffed, for those down home country shootouts.
Need those in the Wild West.
Yeah.
Specifically Noon Quiver. Although if
Sadly,
you're bringing
it
a
doesn't
quiver
have
to a
the
gunfight,
cowboy skin.
yeah. If you're bringing a quiver to a gunfight, though, you've probably already lost the gunfight. Just
Well,
gonna
we're
that
talking
one
about like 1400s,
Oh, the 1400. Yeah, the Yield England showdown with the longbows. Anyway, Schneider looking for the pick onto Captor. Really good solar flare actually stalls the engage. They're going to be able to take it down, but unfortunately the shutdown goes to Nautilus. They do finish off a second kill. Number 2 Ginger's in, but he's not mega right now. Is starting to burn through. Akata with a really nice stopwatch. ROTM might have found the fight that they needed. It's 2 shutdowns going to the Nautilus though. Unfortunately for ROTM, Akata picking up 2 of the kills, but what a fight from ROTM to even win that one, given the circumstance.
Yeah, that is crazy that they're able to find that, and they just went in like it was their last ditch effort to make a play. And the TP was just a little too slow from number 2 Ginger. They were able to get Captor on the Hecarim and kill him before they were able to turn on ROTM as a full 5 stack. And Karthus ult really did a lot of work there, able to poke out 5 members and assist in getting some of them low enough to kill.
Up the teleport coming in behind. Number 2 Ginger looking, probably has found Barco Duck. He does have the lightning charge, and yeah, Zeri's actually a good champion. Never mind. He's out of there, but
slippery.
now Yone might be in trouble as he'll snap back to his soul? I think it's soul. I think that's the technical term for it, right? He's out of there. I don't know if you have the same experience, but the icons on the right side have actually moved further in this game. They're just
Yes.
starting to really
Yes.
encroach on the rest of the game.
Soon we're gonna see them right in the middle of the screen by game 5, you know, and they just slowly keep going in
Is it
and
because of the
in.
zoom out? No, it's not because of the zoom out. Okay, I have no idea why it does that. I was like, maybe the
Yeah.
zoom out because it just scales the HUD differently, but no, it doesn't. It's just wrong. Okay, well,
Well, yeah. I mean, RTM again have the better scaling comp, so they're able to kind of start mitigating, find some team fights like we saw just a few minutes ago. Um, they may be able to actually stabilize this and buy enough time for their carries to get online. Um, and they got a second dragon there, so you're not really going to be worried about Soul Point at all um, at this point, just because they're up already another dragon.
yeah, the objective bounty's even falling off. Maybe a little early, I would say, a 3,000 gold deficit, but Fan getting collapsed on. The hook from Akata going to land, but in come Captor and Hawkster looking from the side. Can they turn this one back around as they've already lost their Vex? Loki Dosi is here as well, just putting in some damage. Captor not even particularly low. Now Yuna is here with the Fate Sealed, and now the fight will explode as Hawkster gets taken down. They're on to Loki Dosi, and they'll chunk him out underneath the tower. A shutdown going to Lexus, and ROTM again finding 4 kills against the run of play, and they'll look for Baron now right after it spawns here at 20 minutes.
Yeah, and that's going to be like evening up the gold lead entirely if they're able to get this Baron. So much for that lead that we just saw, and RTM has a lot more standing gold on the map. So with this Baron, they're actually probably going to be able to get a lead after this reset here, and you see the gold jump ahead.
Yeah, number 2, Ginger. Unfortunately, Meganar right now going to get slowed by the auto from Barco Duck. A couple of autos coming through. That W always cracks me up. He's stealing the shield underneath the tower, tanking it up. He'll have to leave, though, and now the Requiem coming through. Is it enough damage? It's
Ooh, the
going to
bird.
burn him with the Dark Harvest. We're not watching him, so I'm assuming that he lives, and everybody's going to have to evacuate right now for our TM. They don't get the tower just yet.
Yeah, barely lives there, but that means there is no Requiem for this Baron push. And RTM now have completely flipped. All of them have the shutdowns, and VGA is on the back foot here. So I'm just so floored by RTM being able to find a way back into this game with the picks that they're able to find.
Yep, and now Yuna even taking a tower down in the bottom lane, starting to open up some of this gold, and it's a 1,500 gold lead for ROTM. Yuna
Oh,
gets
nice
hit by
arrow.
the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and the Leona at the same time. He's got nowhere left to go as he snaps back. Maybe he's got somewhere left to go. He's got the Fate Sealed. He's got all 5 members of VGA on him, but he can't dodge the Loving Shadow, and he'll fall. The shutdown goes to Chapanya Fan, but the push now coming in from ROTM. They get the top lane turret. They get some damage on the mid lane turret, maybe even chunk all the way through it, as Zeri doesn't do too bad against the turrets. As, yeah, that's 2 towers going down, and maybe even a third as they weave their way into the top lane.
Yeah, and I don't think RTM really even is going to be that concerned about this dragon that's spawning in 30 seconds. My guess is they'll try to just continue using this Baron if they can and give that Drake up, but they may be caught out here a little bit.
Yeah, Captor and number 2 Ginger looking for Akata. Alexis just going to leave him for dead, it looks like, as throw out the Wall of Pain, and that's all you get, Nautilus. Oh, he doesn't quite have the dredge line to the wall. And one more auto. There it is. The shutdown goes to number 2 Ginger, and kind of shutdowns the rest, shuts down the rest of the Baron play for RTM. Yep.
Now, I'd be very surprised if RTM decides to contest this. It's not a dragon that they really should feel like they have to get at all. It's not Soul Point. It doesn't put them on Soul Point. And so they should just look to get as much farm as possible. And you've got Schneider that's pushing in this top side, and it's actually going to force out a TP from the Gnar to answer.
Yeah, Schneider gets the tower, has the hook shot and the wall dive out, but the bounce from number 2 Ginger might be enough. He's going to go Mega. Nicely changed dodge there on the wallop, but oh, the hook shot isn't quite there. Does he have the damage to power through? He does! Schneider with the kill. Captor pretty low. Now the lightning crashes. Chapanya fan has caught him. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow picks up a kill, but Yuna looking for a little bit more. The Fate Sealed in. Picks off one, snaps back with Lexus in tow. They're trying to get down onto Hawkster. Captor fighting his way in, but now the Leona re-engage. Lexus is low, but he's not low enough, and now Schneider able to rejoin off the teleport. They assassinate the Ashe, and Captor falls to the Requiem.
Oh my.
And ROTM pushing now in the mid lane. There's 20 seconds to go on number 2, Ginger. I think that'll just be the inhibitor and out, though.
Yeah, and you have to think that, well, maybe they're going to get double inhib and get out. I don't think they can quite end. Yeah, number 2 Ginger coming up. But,
Yeah,
man, for how this game started, for RTM to be in the position that they're in is quite crazy, and it just shows like the potential that they have in their team. VGA really needs to spend more time grouped, and RTM just went crazy trying to find all-out picks kind of in desperation plays towards the mid game to get themselves back in, and are now fully online.
Yeah, what a crazy play. They were able to find the pick onto Captor to start everything off, and just the split second too late from number 2 Ginger, not able to teleport in, had to walk all the way in on the Gnar, meant that they were able to pick off everybody from the squad of VGA before the Gnar could really get there, and just a huge testament to ROTM's ability to come back and stay calm in these games. They were so far behind at one point, and now have flipped the script completely. 6,000 or 5,000 gold ahead, and now VGA, they have the ability, they have the team comp necessary to make their return back into this game, but can they find the picks that they need?
Yeah, and it's funny. It feels like RTM was like, well, thank you for taking my towers so I can get out of this miserable laning phase and group with my team and find the picks. Because it really was just solo lane dominance for VGA in this early game. But RTM has completely turned that around and are now just looking to finish it off through this last remaining inhibitor in bot lane.
Yep, and now grouped up into the bottom lane. 45 seconds to go on the Baron on the opposite side of the map. You can see some vision around that, but no one paying too much attention to the home of the Purple Worm. Akata not quite able to find that hook, but they'll get the tower regardless, it looks like, at the end of this play. All pain down as in comes Schneider, and they might have picked number 2 Ginger to start out the fight. Big Gnar into the wall. Can they find the engage? And Yuna says no with the big Fate Sealed back in, and the damage now coming down from ROTM. Karthus and Zeri still alive as Barco Duck dashes forward. It's a double-double for Barco Duck and Yuna as they dive on in, and that's game number 2 going to Return to the Middlesticks. They're on match point.
Yeah, and a play that we've seen so much in this mid-game, Sheer flashing in with the hook shot, able to lock someone down, get a pick, and just snowball the rest of the team fight. What a game from RTM to come back from a 5k deficit in the early game. That is going to be really hard to come back for VGA.
Yeah, and what do you have left in your pockets if you're VGA? What picks do you have now? Forced to match point. You got to win 3 in a row now to keep your season alive. So we'll go to break and we'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some water. I'll be right back. All right, we got everybody back in the lobby.
Yeah.
Do you have a draft
Get
link?
into game 3. I do. I will
Can you
DM
send
it
to
to
me?
you.
I think it
Yep.
was out
Got
before I
lost in the
got there.
shuffle.
Yeah. No, I just don't have it in my chat. So. Oh no, there it is. I see it.
Yeah, it's. I didn't have it initially either, so
Oh,
they reposted it.
he's got it.
But we got it.
I got it.
And their client fixed, so into game 3. Oh, we are into our first ban.
Oh, I can transition the slides. All right, welcome back then into game number 3. Return of the Middlesticks on match point now, returning on the red side from last game as well. Will we see the same bans return? Thus far, it is. It's Viego and Vigar, as well as Bard and Jinx, and the Trundle. So, keeping everything the same. VGA not feeling like they need to ban anything away from that last game.
Well, I mean, if you're thinking of the early game, you got to feel like you did everything you wanted to do, so why change it up if you're from VGA's perspective? And my guess is RTM is probably going to draft the same 2 picks here, so we'll probably see the same through these first round of bans, and then I would guess Zeri Nautilus. Yep.
Yeah, Zeri Nautilus to counter the Hecarim and the Ashe and Leona, and here we go.
Now, will we see Karthus? Oh no. The hover, at least. You gotta hover for the memes. But we'll see if they elect to go for it. It definitely was. It wasn't like the Karthus that was the make or break for RTM, and it looks like they're gonna go away because they did not like how that early game went. You know, Volibear lock. We are. It's the first differentiation.
Ooh, they're giving it to him in the chat, so, you know.
Run it back or you're mad. I like it. But yeah, we're gonna see the difference, and then we're also gonna see a Vex ban, which I don't know. RTM must have just forgot about that because they did. It did not look very fun to play into as Yone. But they don't have any AP in the jungle, so you're probably not gonna pick AD mid laner unless you're gonna send some AP topside. So you'll see.
Yeah, this feels more like the Yone setup bans, but VGA could shut that down with one swipe of their ban. Although, you know, given how it went in game number 2, I don't know that you're super worried about it. And yeah, that's actually just the same bans running back. VGA has not changed a thing about their draft. RTM though, as you mentioned with the Volibear, this could still be the Yone. Or it could be.
Yeah, we still could see it. You could always see this Volibear as well flex top. But it looks like we're just going to see LeBlanc, which Akali and Vex, very good, or decent matchups into LeBlanc. So
yeah, and with the Ahri already off the table, takes away 3 potential good matchups into the LeBlanc, and now we'll see what VGA wants to play. This could be the Zoe that we saw banned, could be something else entirely. Zoe not like super great against LeBlanc. It's fine.
yeah,
but it's not.
This will be the first time we see anything else besides Vex for VGA. So
That's
and
boring.
Orianna.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense with the team that they have drafted above it. You've got the Hecarim that can go in, you've got the Leona that can go in, so there's a lot of delivery mechanisms for this Orianna Shockwave.
Oh no, it makes sense. It's just boring. That's
It is boring. I will give you that. It's not as much excitement as last game. I will, and I don't see why you would go away from the Gnar for number 2 Dinger. He played really well on it last game, had a ton of solo kills, and we're gonna see if the auction is locked in to go into this Gnar, I assume.
I mean, it would have to be. I don't think any of these champions can jungle other than Volibear. I mean, Nautilus can, but then you don't have a support, so it's kind of whatever. He's really debating that. It's the auction gonna be locked in for Schneider. presumably. You could go LeBlanc top, I guess, into the Gnar and auction it.
With all the flexing we saw, I don't think it'll happen, but you never know. Teams might hover it for some fun.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this particular matchup. Like, it feels like Gnar should just be fine against auction.
Yeah, I mean, I think both are gonna be fine in this lane. I mean, I think Gnar probably has better solo kill threat, but Auction, when he goes Mega, will be able to kind of poke him out, and because he continues to have that range advantage. But when both champions are ranged, there shouldn't be really a lot of kill threat. So it's definitely a champ that Schneider is very comfortable on. So it didn't look like he was as comfortable, at least in lane, on that Camille pick.
Yeah.
Last game.
Well, here we go into second draft. Game number 3, match point for Return of the Middlesticks, and they're coming out with the LeBlanc auction pick. So here we go. Should be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
We don't know about the LOL JSS auction guide. Uh-oh.
It does go pretty hard. The 38-minute video, inside and out. But yeah, I think the big thing is for VGA in this game is mentally recovering from that last game. I mean, you're up so much, it's just must be so heartbreaking to feel like you're winning and then to have it just kind of snatched from you in these little skirmishes that our teams seem to keep finding.
Oh, thank you. That's what we were
The
missing
link
from
to
the
the
stream.
action guide.
No self-plugging here.
Yeah, we'll have to add that to the Nightbot so that we can get some more views to it. You know?
Yeah, hopefully not counting on the big Return of the Middlesticks auction guide views, but yeah, it's a rough position though for Virtue Gaming now. Their mental definitely stretched to the limit. We'll see how they bounce back. They seemed in pretty good spirits in the chat. I know, games like that happen. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not typing in chat. I'm not bantering, but they're all about it. So hopefully keeping their heads up, and they'll give it another swing here. This is, back against the wall. They're going to pull out pretty much a standard 5v5 teamfight comp. Very meta picks. Nothing particularly flashy about this comp from VGA, but they have a lot of crowd control, and they have a lot of 5v5 potential.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just like last game. They're looking to try to get some early Drakes, force RTM to come into them with the better team fighting comp and win on those team fights. For RTM, it's going to be a lot more pick oriented. You've got this auction that's able to kind of look for some interesting roams. LeBlanc that's trying to just one-shot people before fights happen, and use the Zeri to kind of kite people and slowly burst them down.
Well, 50 seconds to go. We'll see if there's any last-second swamps this time. Swamps. My God. All right. Well, we're at we're at game 3, so sometimes the English starts to go. Wow, how thought out and well made. I can't wait to subscribe to TTV-LOLJSS with my Twitch Prime for more content like this. Thanks again, Jared Schneider. You're a blessing to the amateur community, my brother in Christ. What is this emote? TB Angel.
The Kirby? TB Angel. Nice.
Is that it's Total Bisc? Oh, it's Toast. Yeah. I feel
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I didn't even get paid to read that one. That's rough.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just see a good post
those
and you
out
gotta
for
read
free.
it out,
Of course. Yeah. I mean, so in this game, I think what we're seeing out of the bot lane is Akata and Barco Duck just really playing well in games 1 and game 2. getting CS leads for themselves, not really with a lot of interference from either jungle really. And if RTM continues to play through that, and just kind of stabilizes the top side, I think they should have a really good shot in this game. For VGA, you definitely want to try to get those solo kills. See if you can try to get into the same game state that you had last game, and just play the mid game a little bit cleaner.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I do feel like the lanes are much stronger this time for ROTM. I think the LeBlanc into Orianna matchup is pretty LeBlanc favored, and the auction can scrap back decently with the Gnar early. So I think it'll be harder for them to get those early leads, but we'll see if there's some magic left in the tank for VGA, or if this is just going to be the end of their season. I set that up really nicely for transition into game. There's still a minute 45. I don't know. What you got going on, Lane? What's going on in the venerable world of Lane?
Not much, you know. Doing my in and out at Twitch every day, and coming home to my ROTM team. They always make me dinner. I was gonna do some ninja meme, but it didn't quite work out the way I thought it was going to. I'm trying to think what the equivalent would be for RTM Discord for Brawless Wife.
Oh yeah, that's a pasta and a half.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. Go do the March Madness bracket. You've got like a minute to fill it out. That's more than enough time. Let's see how many people we've got.
Oh, does it really end today?
It's still 3. You've got to lock in before Thursday, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, well, we got a little time.
So you got a little bit of time, but you don't have that much time, so go fill that out and get into the group. The password's CAW in all caps.
Although if you just click the link, I think it just lets you in.
Maybe.
Just
I don't know. All right, well, 13 seconds.
Here we go.
Any last requests for these teams before we load on another?
I just want to see another good game. I think game 2 is pretty interesting and how it shook out, and if we could get another one like that, it'd be great to see. It's gonna see who has the most mastery. Well, not long enough.
Yeah, not nearly enough time to check that one out. All right, here we go for game number 3. Any interesting runes this time? No, these are pretty much standard across the board this time, so don't even have
Notably,
that to talk about.
Right side icons have not gone further into the screen, even though they are still quite a ways in.
Yeah, they are just, kind of tenuously hovering over there on the right side. I wonder if it's by champ or it's just unlucky. I don't know. It seems weird that they're just... I hate that they're off-centered too. Like, why is Lexus so far over to the right,
Yeah,
but everybody else
right.
is lined up? It fits with the personality, but like...
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, again, we're not going to see an invade. Akata, not really wanting to do that. I think in this game it's kind of spooky, but with the Leona, but it's definitely something you could look for more if RTM's going to be playing this Nautilus pick. But maybe they're just like, we don't need to add variance into a game that we feel like we're gonna win. So
Yep. 3 games of Nautilus duty for Akata. Don't know if he plays any other champions. Haven't seen it. But yeah, and as we know, ACAB includes Officer Volibear. That's been covered on the stream before. A little unfortunate.
Yeah, we don't need to hear the wee woos. It's actually so annoying as a skin, whether it's like that one or it's Riot Kale. It's just like so annoying to hear the the siren go off whenever they press their buildings.
Well, level 2 pressured from Hawkster and Loki Dosi. They're trying to shove in this minion wave early on. I don't know if... I guess they would know because of the leash, potentially, that Lexus has started on his bottom side. So this is the first game that we've actually had the junglers clear away from each other.
Oh
So,
my.
oh, and that's a
Oh,
huge chunk. Schneider! Oh, the auto just not quite enough damage, but the flash out of number 2 Ginger, and he's going to have to go home already early on the Gnar. He'll have to teleport back in to catch that wave, but it's 6 CS to 0 up in the top lane right now.
yeah, I mean, I think he's not going to be able like losing out too much on this. The flash is obviously really painful, but what's really scary is that Volibear is pathing topside, and so this wave should go down, and then Gnar is gonna have it shoving back without a flash.
Yeah. Zenith Blade going to land from Hawkster. They're going to trade some summoner spells, and Lexus threatening the dive, and they come top lane looking for it. Some autos. He'll dash in with the hook shot, and he'll pick up the kill. Yuna even getting the teleport out of Chapanya fan up to the top lane. But it's a lane kingdom right now for Schneider. 10 to 0 in CS, 1 to 0 in kills. And I'm sorry I said anything bad about the auction pick. What a monster
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, we see why he has his own guide there, already picking up a kill, and that's really nice punish there from Lexus, to come in, know that this Gnar is only going to be level 1 when he TP's back without a flash. They're going to now burn both flashes, so it's maybe an opportunity for Capture to find help his Gnar out a little bit here, but so far, it's really good gank for RTM.
Yeah, Lexus now looking in the mid lane. Number 2 Ginger just not allowed to have any fun in this game. He got 2 CS,
Man.
and he's going to have his second death as he gets ignited and autoed down by Yuna. The poor
Yeah, that
Gnar.
was just some payback for what happened in the relating phase of game 2 there. Just getting punished again. Still level 2 on this Gnar, and no flash just means death in the mid lane.
Level 2, 2 deaths, 2 CS, 2 health pots. So,
Two wards.
two,
Two vision score.
2 vision score. Let's go.
There you go. All the important stats.
Yeah, Akata maybe caught here. He's got the dredge line to the wall, and yeah, just a pretty favorable trade. Loki Dosi and Hawkster doing a pretty good job here early on in the bottom lane of bullying around Barco Duck and Akata. But again, they've opened up a small CS lead, and as we've seen sometimes down here in the bottom lane, that small CS lead turns into a big one for Barco Duck and Akata. Yuna gonna get turned into that mirror image in the mid lane as Chapanya fan holding his ground pretty well. And now we'll see if Lexus can get involved in some of these other lanes, because right now I don't really need to go top. I don't need to punish this Gnar too much more. That gets diminishing returns pretty quick. But what else can our team find? Can they get another lane super far ahead? Shockwave going to land onto Yuna, and this is another solo kill for Chapanya fan as he picks up kind of right where he left off from game number 2.
Yeah, finding another solo kill for himself. He's played pretty well in this series.
Yeah, flash away from Akata. He's burning to the Ignite, walks back in for an auto, and actually dies to Loki Dosi. So kills in the mid lane and the bottom lane for VGA has made things a little bit more interesting here.
Yeah, definitely helps them stabilize out from Gnar just getting killed twice early. And now this is kind of a unique situation for RTM in this series. With the bot lane really not in a spot that they're used to, the wave pushing away from Barco Duck and just really no way for him to enter.
Dodges forward from the Zenith Blade, going forward, looking for Loki Dosi, has the cleanse, flashes back toward his Volley Bear who's here. They're looking for Hawkster first. Can they get the damage? But Loki Dosi has the kill in the flash over the wall. They pick up a kill in the top lane as Captor was able to swing in. And all of a sudden it's a small gold lead for VGA, and the pressure released a little bit up in the top side, but now danger on the bottom as Yuna looking in. Unfortunately chains a minion, but they're still going to look for Hawkster as they dive in. They get 1 shut down, they get 2,
Wow.
and the tower turned off from the ultimate from the Volley Bear, and he'll walk it on out. So 2 kills for Return of the Middlesticks as they strike back a little bit.
Yeah, and Lexus plays that so well. Goes in, tanks the tower, and then hits 6 from the minions dying. Ults the tower so it's shut down, and he doesn't get killed there. Lexus doing a really good job of finding these early ganks in the game.
Yeah, Kata now walking into mid lane. I don't think that this is really gonna amount to anything. Um,
No, push,
but yeah,
push, push.
but yeah, in Barco Duck and Akata gonna push that one in and then probably head toward this bottom side. Lexus with a little bit more control on the Volibear than he had on the Karthus in game number 2.
Yeah, definitely gives him a lot more options. But it was really nice for VGA there to find the kills in that bot lane, and then also on the same tide make a play top. So 50 to 15 in CS in this top lane. I mean, Schneider is just so far ahead, and it looks like he's
Oh,
going to get another wave
yeah, and he's got the
just stacked.
Absolver for
Oh,
the kill as well. The solo kill for Schneider in the top lane on the auction, and he'll continue just kind of exerting his authority up here. Uh, the one the one kill notwithstanding, it's been all auction up in the top side. Now swinging away from Captor as well. He'll grab another turret plate on his way out. Let's hit X. Let's see. Just doubling him up in gold here early on. Barkodak not quite able to find the slow from the zap, and nothing happening in the bottom side on that gank from Lexus. He might just satisfy himself with a nice little dragon snack, though.
yeah. I mean, a side effect of this Gnar getting solo killed is that Hecarim is going to pick up a little bit more farm than he would usually have, just because he's going to pick up some of that lane farm that the Gnar is missing. But Schneider's playing the matchup super well, just building that wave, poking him out, and then going for the kill so that he really just gets nothing in terms of minions.
Yep, Chapanya fan gonna take a little bit of damage here in the mid lane, but he's doing a really good job controlling this wave compared to Yuna, who's falling a little bit behind in CS. Lexus now threatening, has the ultimate available if he really wants to, but I think that they're just really trying to shove this in and give Yuna a little bit of breathing space, get that reset for him.
Schneider building another big wave here. And number 2 Ginger still not even 6, up down 3 levels. He's probably going to hit 6 off this minion wave, but it's just really shut down in this game.
Dropping a couple of frames here, apologies, as this is our high quality Xfinity internet. Um,
Not an ad, not a sponsor.
please no, actually. Um, I can fake so much, but being happy about Xfinity Internet is not something I can fake. Please, Google Fiber, just extend a little bit further west. We would really appreciate it. I will add for that. Um, east, not west. I West? West. Okay,
Both.
cool.
Both would be good.
I
Just more people on fiber.
Yeah. We had it in our old apartment and didn't have these
Oof.
issues. Kind of weird.
Odd. Yeah, that's painful to switch back
To switch
after
back to.
having the stable.
Yeah, when your choices are Xfinity or nothing though, you kind of have to go Xfinity, which is a shame.
Yep. We've only got one internet service provider out here, so it's kind of like hit or miss of whether or not you're getting good internet or not. So
Well, not a whole lot happening in the game right now. Both teams just kind of farming it
number
out.
2 Ginger can't farm.
Yeah, number 2 Ginger literally can't farm. The rest of them all hitting the minions. In comes Lexus for the collapse. That's a nice kickback though from Captor. They're gonna find Chapanya Fam and scoot a boot right out of there. So clean pick in the mid lane for Return of the Middlesticks, and Yuna will get to shove that one in. Not going to result in any particular swing of gold or anything, just kind of nice.
Yeah, just another pick, another thing of gold into his pocket, and man, Schneider just pays, just punishing number 2 Ginger for even thinking he can touch a minion in this game.
Yeah, Kata and Barco Duck still threatening that they have a Volibear around. There's still 2 minutes before Dragon spawns, so Not even that big objective down here on the bottom side. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen a Herald grab from Lexus, but Schneider just going to walk in, get a huge amount of damage. The Absolver, not quite enough damage as he hides behind the turret.
Yeah, this is where you just cry if you're a top laner. You're in this solo lane all the time, and when things go bad, they can turn really, really bad. And you almost have to wonder if it's like, do I just start roaming because I just need to try to help out the rest of my team because I can't get anything top lane? Just hope that they push the wave in.
Ooh, and Channel Cristero going to land onto Hawkster. In come both junglers flying in from this side. Akata with a last-second stopwatch, just trying to buy time. Big onslaught of shadows, though, from Captor as they get one. Hawkster getting the stun down onto Lexus. They're trying to kite this one back out, but Barco Duck just doesn't really do any damage as Tickle Beam not adding up to a whole lot just yet. Schneider flashes forward with the Mega Gnar from number 2. Ginger finds the kill in the top lane. Barco Duck flashing forward, not quite able to find Loki Dosi. Captor low. Barco Duck just dies to the minions or the burn damage. I'm not really sure how he died exactly, but he'll fall, and VGA gets 3 kills cross map.
Yeah, and that's really big. Actually helps stabilize quite a bit. Just RTM just being a little too aggressive there, and he gets punished for it. And that's going to be also flashes down for both top and bot. So you could look at making return plays to those lanes.
Yep, Yuna will pick up a turret plate, and now that dragon is going to be an issue in a couple of seconds as he'll spawn here in 30. Well, we have a second straight Cloud Soul. It's going to be an Hextech Dragon. Do we get the Ocean? What flavor you feeling today?
Well, I like the blue raspberry of last game, but
That was game 1. We had a Cloud Dragon last game. It's so unmemorable you forgot about it already.
it's true. It's true.
But yeah, both teams buzzing around the Infernal Dragon Pit. As it looks like RTM has the inside track for the time being. VGA forced to retreat for now as Schneider going to walk his way on down from top lane. He is currently invisible around the mid lane area. Dragon goes down, and it's smited away by Lexus. They're going to use the Enchanter Cristero to look for the Volley Bear, and should just be the disengage. Oh, not quite able to find the hook either. There's Akata. And it's another Cloud Soul. Yay, Cloud Soul.
Yeah, definitely not the best dragon to see when you're leading. Not horrible, but you know, you want better takes than that.
Yeah,
oh my what
goodness.
a hook.
What a collapse. What a hook from Akata as they'll find the kill onto Chapanya fan. I really like the investment at the ult just on the second target. They knew they had the first one secured, so might as well see if you can get a little greedy, get the second one. But not going to find that one, just the one kill around the mid lane in RTM. About 1,000 gold lead right now. They have been struck back. It's been back and forth, despite how much it's felt like RTM's been in control for most of it. Onslaught of Shadows used defensively for Captor means that the Rift Herald will finally fall. This is the first Rift Herald of the game that's going to die, and it'll be the only Rift Herald of the game if it does fall.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised for how dominant RTM has looked in this game that it's only about 1,000 gold lead. So I mean, for how bad the early game has looked for VGA, they've really kind of stabilized here. And with no flash here on top, it looks like they're gonna try to make a play.
Yep, Schneider using the hook to try to get out. Captor going to kick him back in. He'll get
Nice
nard into the
CC.
wall. Really nice CC chain. And Captor picks up the kill. Now chain onto Chapanya fan in the mid lane. Does he have the damage? He's got the ignite, got the auto, but the shockwave is going to be enough to make sure that Yuna can't follow up.
Yeah, and Zeri's now alone in this bot side with just her
Walking
R.
forward,
so.
uses the lightning crash just to try to get a little bit of damage down onto Loki Dosi, make them rethink this dive, and it does work for what it's worth. Lex is going to drop the Rift Herald in mid. It doesn't even get the charge.
Doesn't even get a charge. Mm-mm. So yeah, RTM just kind of stalling out now after their really strong laning phase, and kind of, I mean, it kind of reminds you of the opposite of what was happening in game 2. where the team that had the early laning phase comeback mounts for them, and wow,
Oh,
that didn't hit.
yeah, nice little dodge there from Barco Duck. He's got to use the cleanse out of the solar flare, but um, good happy feet means that he'll stay alive for the time being. Schneider just working his way on this top lane tower. He should be able to take it down here in a second, although this might be a little bit greedy. Can he take the fight afterwards is a question that we have to ask ourselves, and it doesn't. Turns out he doesn't need to as he walks away. One auto following Chapanya fan. That's probably not the path he wanted to take as he gets caught. And now number 2 Ginger somehow just caught up to Schneider up in the top lane and kills him.
Yeah, and I mean, I think with that kill, it's gonna be pretty even. Well, maybe not quite even in gold, but you're probably looking at that first item pickup for Gnar, which definitely makes him quite a bit stronger. So Schneider's definitely stalled out here in this top lane, able to get that full turret by himself, but outside of the first couple kills, has really not shown the same dominance that we were expecting.
Yeah, now starting to maybe hit that downward trajectory as Barco Duck just going to zap himself over the wall. I don't know any of the rest of Zeri's abilities, I'm going to be honest. Just Lightning Crash and then the other ones. Um, well, Enchant Crystal Arrow going to land onto the Zeri. Is the stun duration long enough to get on top of him? He's got the dash over the wall. Does he have anything else to get away? No, the flash from Hawkster means that they can walk in and just get the auto attack down. So nice pick as the ward giving them enough vision to find the Ashe ult cross map, and Barco Duck takes his 3rd death of the game right before the dragon spawns.
Yeah, this is a completely different bot lane story that we've seen in these first 2 games. Barco Duck set quite far behind 0-3, and the Ashe and Leona combo doing really well to CC. I would be surprised if RTM tries to go for this Drake. My guess is they will probably just try to trade for mid lane tower, but I guess Zeri is going to be up for it, so we may see a 5v5 here, and this may be who ends up having precedence in the mid game, whoever wins this fight.
Yeah, turret gonna go down here in mid for Return of the Middlesticks, cash in a little bit of that standing gold. But now VGA potentially looking for the engage, maybe looking for the dragon. What is the decision here from ROTM? Do they group up with their AD carry and fight? Do they just look for some picks? Schneider getting a little bit of damage down, has to zap on out. I don't know why everything is just a zap now. Zeri's attacks are all zaps, but the rest of them aren't. Dragon gonna fall in favor of VGA, and that's gonna stall out the Cloud Soul potentially for Return of the Middlesticks.
I think the big questions as we move into this mid game is, are VGA going to be able to actually get a team fight off? Because they've got so much CC that they're going to be able to lock down targets really effectively and kind of shut them down and not allow them to what to do. RTM is going to be have to be the team that plays a lot and executes a lot more strictly to their widcon, which is splitting with this LeBlanc and auction pick and getting these side lane towers. Definitely harder to execute for them. But if there were teams to do it, this is what you'd want to see out of the senior division academy teams.
Yep, they'll grab the bottom lane towers, so all 3 of the outer towers down now for Return of the Middlesticks. It's 1,500 gold lead, which is a lot closer than you'd think it would be, given if you just watch the first like 2 to 3 minutes of this game.
Yes.
You would think that RTM would be firmly in control of this game, but instead, just a minor gold lead so far. They have the 1 dragon advantage, and VGA with every opportunity now to come back in this game and get their first win of the series.
Yeah, both teams are going to try to set up for this Baron, just try to get pressure around it. RTM does have the outer towers still around this Baron, so it's going to be a lot harder for VGA to get lane priority to set up for it. They'll have to wait till those are under tower, and they'll bounce back a lot faster.
Yeah, Kata threatening? He doesn't actually have anyone here to really threaten with, but still gonna pretend like he's got Lexus in his pocket as
That's where you posture to protect yourself. You're like, I've definitely got people here, guys. Don't worry.
yeah, all of that vision now swept out and in favor of VGA around the Baron pit. This game has slowed down immeasurably, which I think does not favor you if you're a Return of the Middlesticks fan. Would like to see some kills in these side lanes, some more pressure being applied by them. I do kind of like this from Lexus and Yuna getting some wards down in this red side jungle, at least trying to make sure they're free to counterpunch, and they get spotted out on a blue trinket, so Lexus will steal away this, well, Barco Duck will steal, well, never mind. Lexus will, they both have a red buff. I went for it, and then I doubted myself, and then they both have it. So I think Barco Duck actually got that one.
Yep. Yeah, RTM's really set up well with their vision. They've got 3 pinks on this top side around the Baron. So it should feel pretty safe after getting this mid lane push to go in and clear some vision.
Ooh, Barco Duck
It's really just kind of a waiting game.
Yeah, I worry anytime I see a single member, just any lone member. Oh, they went for the Enchanted Crystal Road at top lane. Schneider able to just walk away from it, but you can see where the pressure is coming from for VGA. They're just looking to set up with this Ashe ult, but RTM on the other side might have found number 2 Ginger. Do they actually have the damage to chunk through this Gnar? They eventually will, as Lexus will take him down. And now the Baron started up for VGA. Is there an answer from Return of the Middlesticks? Do they just look for mid-prio? This Baron is not falling particularly quickly. I think Schneider can see it now. He's going to walk in, look for the assassination onto Chapanya fan. Has to flash away from the solar flare, but the follow from the Onslaught of Shadows might have been what VGA wanted all along, as they're able to pick Schneider. And now ROTM getting control of the mid lane. They'll take down the inner turret. The game has kind of exploded out of nowhere as they'll walk the minion wave in. Do they look for this inhibitor turret? Is there enough to actually force with for VGA is another question. There's no ultimate abilities up right now. Captor now walking forward, but the inhibitor turret already gone, and RTM kind of picks their pockets. They get the 2 towers in the mid lane. Is this still a follow-in engage, though, from VGA? They're still posturing aggressively with 19 seconds to go on this dragon. Chunk onto Chapanya fan. Lexus looking for the engage. They're looking for Captor. Lightning crash on the backside as they're starting to deal damage to Hawkster. They'll pick off the Leona to start the fight. Chapanya fan kiting back away. Gets knocked up by the Nautilus ultimate. Barco Duck still trying to kite back. Loki Dosi doing quite a bit of damage. Now they've caught number 2 Ginger with the chain on the opposite side. They can't follow into the hook, though. Schneider with the flank looking for Chapanya fan. Can't quite finish him off. The Absolver does finish him. They'll find 2. They'll find 3. And it's a double kill for the auction. They'll get the hook back in. They're looking for Captor, but it's not quite enough damage that's actually coming through. Loki Dosi running the fight right now on the Ashe. Lexus forward. Gets the shutdown. It's just Captor left alive. He gets zapped by Barco Duck. Dashing forward on the Zeri. Can they actually finish him off? He's so fast, and he does. It's a shutdown for Barco Duck and a delay. Not quite an ace, because Hawkster actually respawned during the fight, but it's 5 kills for Return of the Middlesticks.
Yeah, really, really close fight. Teams just weaving in and out, and both teams committing their teleports to that fight, and RTM comes out ahead. And now this is really big for them. They're going to be able to pick up the Drake, which puts them on Soul Point, and more importantly, pick up a lot of kills and gold.
Whew. Just a deep breath as the Baron has become a bigger objective now, as it could really break the game open. Could be game ending potentially if Return of the Middlesticks is able to grab it in a good fight. And yeah, we're really getting into it now. This is the lead that you needed to see if you're an RTM fan, and for VGA now they're essentially one more bad team fight away from being eliminated from the competition.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the pick potential to find what they need, and
oh, the sidesteps from Akata. He's got the hook to the wall. Gets slowed up by the Leona ultimate. They're still maybe looking for this fight. Barco Duck with a lightning crash on the backside. In comes the engage from Lexus. They just can't quite track down any of the damage. The Absolver isn't going to quite be enough to finish anything off, but they successfully saved Private Akata, and you know, there's not a whole lot else really on the map, so They'll take some of those ultimates being burned, but now some key summoner spells being down. The cleanse down for Barco Duck. I guess just a lot of flashes, but those weren't really expended that fight. Captor gonna find Yuna with Hawkster. Hawk, yeah, I doubted myself on Hawkster for some reason.
Yeah, both teams just gonna kind of posture around this dragon. Neither of them really have ultimates available, so I don't expect a team fight to break out here without those coming back up, but
Ooh, number 2 Ginger just going to go ahead and throw the Zeri into the wall. They've got the CC chain. It's a shutdown going to the Hecarim, but they'll kick back in. Lexus, can ROTM find the turn? Do they have the damage? They do not yet. It's another shutdown going to Loki Dosi as Auction's just able to dodge out of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but with the 2 picks, that might be the Baron for VGA. That might have been the picks that they need to turn the game.
yeah, this is going to be still pretty scary. I mean, even after those picks, they're pretty low health, and you've got LeBlanc that's able to just jump in and chunk out. I think smartly, VGA elects to not go for this Baron and just take the kills, which definitely will help them out. And their ultimates came up a little bit faster, where they were able to execute them well. Number 2 Ginger finding a really nice pick onto the Zeri to start that off, and it's going to mean that they're going to make the game last a little bit longer and know that they can take some fights. That's definitely a confidence booster in this game 3.
Yeah, now ROTM on Cloud Soul Point, on game point, looking for the big play to finish off the game. We saw one already from Lexus flashing forward to start the fight around the last dragon. Will it be another good fight for Lexus, or will number 2 Ginger find another flanking kill on Barco Duck? Some of these summoner spells starting to come back up could be very important, as Zeri's flash almost up, Nautilus's flash almost up, and you know, when both of these teams have all of their stuff available, we've seen our team come out on top throughout most of the series. Yuna finds the chain looking for Chapanya Fan. They take the shockwave, which isn't an insignificant cooldown now. It will be back up before that Dragon Soul, but
yes,
Hawkster not really caught. He's very tanky still on the Leona. The Locket is a pretty good item.
Yeah, definitely helps you out with some of those base resistances, but teams just kind of posturing around this Drake. Again, it's RTM that doesn't have the better 5v5 team comp. They definitely have to play for a little bit slower, let a Yuna poke some people out, find some picks. And this could be a dragon, especially since it's just Air Soul, that you maybe give up as RTM and look to try to push mid or potentially like roam on, get a head start on your Baron. But so far it looks like they're going to fight for it.
Yeah, Barco Duck walking in. They're going to get number 2 Ginger's Mega now, coming out with 20 seconds to go before the dragon spawn. And it's scary time just now until that Mega is up, and RTM going to cede control of the pit. VGA flips it over. They'll gain vision control. They have the ability now to sit here and maybe bait ROTM in. Lexus finds Chapanya Fan with the sweeper, and ROTM looking for that mid prio right now. Yuna over the wall trying to get the pick, but instead gets picked himself. Loki Dosi finds it with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. It's the shutdown going to the Ash, but they'll pick Chapanya Fan on the opposite side. In goes Lexus looking for the damage. Captured pretty low. Loki Dosi still alive on the backside of the fight. Feared in. Barco Duck just trying to do any damage that he can, but he gets flipped into the wall by number 2 Ginger. Can they actually get down onto Loki Dosi? Schneider flashes forward, but he just trades himself. Barco Duck still alive, but it's 2v2. Lexus and Barco Duck versus number 2 Ginger and Captor. Captor into the backline, kicks him, dashing back away. Barco Duck is still alive. Number 2 Ginger is going to fall. It's a double kill for Barco Duck, and ROTM gets the ace.
And such a super chaotic team fight there. Both mids getting picked early in the fight, and then it just is the Zeri speed that comes out ahead for ROTM, able to dodge out of all of the CC and get away from the last dying breath of capture on the Hecarim, and that's going to mean Soul for ROTM, and they're going to feel pretty good about that.
Well, Cloud Soul off the table now. The Elder Dragon going to spawn here in 6 minutes and just ramp up the intensity even more. Baron's still relatively unmolested in his pit. He'll continue to sleep for just a couple of minutes before I imagine we'll see both teams start to hover around that pit.
Yeah, and it's pretty big to have this ultimate and move speed combo. It will definitely help them get onto the primary carries for VGA, especially when you've got that's going to come in, have that ultimate to double up his abilities a little bit faster, and then you've got the ulting volley bear to also think about.
Yeah, Loki Dosi is having a really good game on this Ashe. Anytime that we've seen him be able just to open up in the back of fights, he's doing a billion damage, and it doesn't feel like there's a huge amount of threat on him from Return of the Middlesticks. And now VGA starting up the Baron. Down to 10,000 health. The teleport in from the Gnar means that they've got to commit. They've got to decide to turn. And he comes with the Mega, the flip into the wall. He's found Schneider. Lexus is into the backline, just trying to do anything he can to stall out the engage. They've picked off the Gnar to start out the fight. They get 2 kills. Now Captor in with the onslaught of shadows, looking for Schneider, able to find him and shut him down. Barco Duck still alive on the front side, gets Enchanted Crystal arrowed. Captor is running away on the bottom side as Barco Duck wins the fight. It's a 5-for-1 ace for Return of the Middlesticks, and they'll sail it on down mid lane.
Yeah, and that's just a desperation play there from VGA, trying to trying to get RTM to come into the pit and win on their terms, but just a really well-played team fight there where 4 members of RTM are able to focus down number 2 Ginger as he TPs in because Lexus created so much space with his ultimate, and that's going to mean the series for RTM with a 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. Not maybe the statement that they were hoping for. Game 1, very tilted for Return of the Middlesticks, but games 2 and 3, hard fought, back and forth, very closely contested. And in the end, it's a 3-0, but Return of the Middlesticks maybe back to the drawing board just a little bit for next week going into the semifinals. For VGA, it does mean the end of their season. It's a rough one to go out on. They had a huge gold lead in game number 2, and then looked like they had the puncher's chance here in game 3, but not able to close it out. And yeah, kind of commiserations to them, but well done for Return of the Middlesticks. They move on, survive in advance. That's all you got to do at this point in the season.
Yeah, that's for sure. And VGA just had a really good series. I mean, like you said, it's a 3-0, but hats off to them for making a really competitive series and pushing RTM to their limits. So excited to see RTM move on, of course, and we'll have to see what next week's opponent holds.
Yeah. So from myself, from Lane, from the rest of us at Return of the Middlesticks, thanks for joining us today on the stream. Shoutouts to Legoat James and Bobadex for the follows during the stream. I do really appreciate that. And we'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow for some Plat games. If not, we'll see you next week for some more Masters League action. And who are we going to raid? We're going to raid Runeterra Academy because they're playing right now. I don't know exactly what's going on, but let's go say hi to the mainstream. So thanks, guys, for joining us. We'll see you back here tomorrow. If not, we'll see you next week. Lane, I hit raid and it barely worked.